Kana, and now he got here with such a big name. It is so interesting. If you've been with us from the beginning and up to now, I'm sure at least you have grasped something for yourself, and maybe it will be a starter when you meet him somewhere, anywhere in this country, or even out of Turkana or out of Kenya. Otherwise, before we get back to our second, go through a number of comments so that, maybe when we get into the second session, we will be able to receive now the new ones that will be read at the tail end of our program. Just to start with, we have Eki Eliudi, anasema kwamba, it was about technical issues. I think that one was resolved by my technical team. To someone else, anaitwa Muru Aite, anasema our own. Yani mmoja wewe ni mmoja wetu. Alice Longor, Commissioner is my classmate. May God take him to the higher grounds in Jesus' name. And then we say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Isaac Karaoke, a great having you in Turkana. Ebongon Jr. anasema great work done by Emmanuel Ekwoma. Asante sana. I really appreciate your support. Eginalo Salim Loalokeriza anasema the mighty Lodo High School. Thanks sir for putting it that way. We deserve one. Okay, at least we have one from Lodo High School. Aya, asante sana. Governor Mesha Kekai anasema following Ndegwa Wanderitu. Anasema salimia my student, the commissioner, my former student at St. Kevin's. Asante sana. James Mwangi, Ayok TV, the pride of Turkana, following very closely. And then Mili Mwenje, go higher and higher and higher, dear cousin, through God's guidance. Okay, Charles Nkito, pleasure meeting you once again. Commissioner Leonid. Martin Kaburu, someone called Cheriot was asking me if you are the one who lived at water quarters.
Yes, I am the one.
Yes. You know Cheriot?
Yes, Cheriot was our neighbor.
Okay. At water?
Yes, water in Kanamkamer.
Okay. Sawa sawa. Maybe we'll, talk about that later. Alafu tuko na Dixon Ochoya, tuned from state of Qatar. Salimia commissioner, pokea salamu from abroad. Tuko na Leonardo. Leonardo anasema water determination. I think there are people who have, been built and of course encouraged by your life journey. Owiti Benson anasema good work. Mike anasema you tuitioned me mathematics in Form 4, 2003. You have your students here. We also have Jeremiah Owod anasema anafuatilia. Abraham Tioko, strictly following. Ekal Justus Kamen anafuatilia. Elfas Ekal was my classmate, and alikuwa Form 4 West. I think ile ya Kebo alikuwa Form 4 West, but during our time in 2007. Alafu anaitwa Alice Longora anasema tenda, I will make sure I attend the tomorrow's function. Emoru Lawrence anafuatilia. Losuru hii Joshua anasema the Kevinites forever. Keno Shadrach following on the interview, and then Owiti again anasema the skies are the limit. Evelyn Sumba anasema following. What do you have to say about those comments?
They are encouraging.
Yes.
They are some of these comments, not only here.
Yes.
They are the ones that keep me going.
Okay.
In my life, people have always encouraged me and pushed me to where I am. And if I can hear from the comments,
yes,
people are encouraged.
Okay.
And I keep telling my story to encourage more people. That the 4 Ds, determination, discipline, dedication, and diligence. Diligence. And I still repeat.
Yes.
You should never give up.
Never give up.
And parting shot.
Yes.
In harmony.
Small things grow.
Asante sana. Thank you.
Asante sana, Bwana Commissioner. Back to our second session of this interview. Now I want us to talk about umetoka kule as at the correctional center where you were serving kule Kamiti, and then now you went after maybe you spent almost a year at the correctional center, and then ukaenda kufanya kazi TSC. What was your role at TSC?
My role, so just to emphasize,
yes.
I was in correctional services, 1 as an inmate,
okay,
and 2 as a prison warder. So that should come out
clearly. Was that within the same time?
No. I was an inmate in 2005.
Okay.
And then for 3 months.
Okay.
From October, November, December.
What took you to the
political riots?
Okay.
Political riots in Kisumu. And then that's when I brushed political shoulders.
Okay.
My lawyers then were James Orengo, the late Mtula Kilonzo,
Okay.
Former MP Olagal Watch, among others.
So at that time, we were able to pay the lawyers. Such
No, they were,
lawyers
the ODM party paid Baba Raila Molo Odinga.
You have
the
a
legal
personal,
fees.
you have a personal
No,
relationship
no,
with them?
no, it was a political thing. So it did
You are on his side then?
no personal engagement.
Oh, so are you on his side then?
I've always been.
Ah,
Even now,
okay.
and especially now that we are in broad-based government,
Okay.
I don't have regrets
Uh-huh.
for having supported his cause.
Okay.
But then eventually I joined prisons in 2009. So I was just explaining the fact that I've seen both sides of the prison. One as an inmate,
Okay.
and two as a jailer. I mean, a prison warder.
Okay.
So basically, I was saying that you asked me about.
Yeah, before you go to TSA, how did the life in prison shape you to who you are in the outside world?
What I've learned in life is that the hard life,
Yes.
hard knuckle,
Yes.
is what has shaped me.
Okay.
I've told you I've been in the streets many years, and I have scars on my body, some of which even my family members don't know.
Okay.
I get hit by myself. When my scar got punctured in Kisumu, I never went to an hospital to date.
Okay.
It healed by itself in the prison. Yes.
Okay.
So these scars are the ones that have kept me going, and I never give up. Therefore, the life in prison also, but luckily enough, as a political prisoner, you are not treated like any other criminal. So you are given VIP status in prison. So we didn't suffer. We ate the best of food. We got the best place to sleep. So the prisoners would accord us VVIP treatment in the cells, in the prisons.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to look at your life, and then how did you even make yourself come out of, with clean, good, certificate of good conduct? Because looking at you, you are jailed. Hapo hivyo unachukuliwa fingerprints. Hapo live yenye umeeleza yote ni maisha ambayo maybe inaharibu pia maybe tuseme nidhamu mambo kadhaa. How did you even come out with clean shit?
For me, I'll say honesty is very important.
Okay.
I was not a criminal. Political agitation is not criminality.
Okay.
It's a democratic right, and especially in Constitution 2010. Though I was doing this before the 2010 Constitution, but eventually I said honesty. When our commandant, Mr. Mutua, asked us about then in our parade about those people who have had criminal issues to come out, very many people never came up or came out. Me, I did. I was the only one who was honest enough, went to him and told him the facts as they were. So he sympathized with me. And he must have organized how my fingerprints were cleared at DCI. I don't know how. So eventually I got my good conduct.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, sawa. Now, that was very interesting to know. Now, moving to your TSC life. So how did you made from now the being a warden to TSC?
So as I said, I've done construction all through my life.
Okay.
I've done 3 diplomas basically. I have a diploma in building construction, a second diploma in technical education of building construction, and a higher national diploma in civil engineering.
Okay.
So this one is in the course of between 2004 when I left St. Kevin's to around 2012, 2010 thereabout, when I finished all my schooling. Okay. For technical courses. So therefore, as I was in the prison, I was enlisted as a specialist in construction. Unfortunately, I joined, but we were never given those responsibilities. So I became a general duty prison officer or prison warder. Okay. But when I was transferred to committee, that's when I was given my responsibility to be a clerk of works. So the term clerk of works, I didn't know it before then. So having joined in 2010 to become a clerk of works, I wanted to know more about who a clerk of works is. That's when I was in my research, I established that there's an institution called the Institute of Clerks of Works of Great Britain. And it had a chapter in Kenya called the Institute of Clerks of Works of Kenya. Okay. So I was interested. So upon Googling, I got a number, I called. Then in 2010, I was enlisted as a member of the Institute of Clerks of Works of Kenya. In 2011, I joined the Architectural Association of Kenya as a technician member with my first diploma. So I eventually engaged in professional activities in the construction industry.
Did the entry require maybe some fees?
Yes, yes. Basically, there were some fees which I could afford then. I was on payroll.
Okay.
Though in prison I joined when I was earning 11,000, but I could sacrifice and pay.
Okay.
Because it was an annual. You pay an entry fee, interview fee, then you pay annually. So then in 2011, 2012, then I became an active member. 2013. So 2013, I saw an advert in the papers about National Construction Authority. It was just starting.
Okay.
So I became interested late 2012. So my active participation, I volunteered to train contractors in this country. By that time, I did very big spoke in very big conferences in Bomas of Kenya. Nobody knew me by then.
Okay.
So I had volunteered. I will pay my fare to various destinations to train contractors. So from there, my association realized that I'm not a normal human being. So within 3 years, I was a technician member. I joined as a technician member.
Yes.
But for you to vie, you must be a corporate member.
Okay.
So between
which requires some experience. Yeah.
So between technician member, there's an associate member, then corporate. So after 3 years, even before I had qualified to be an associate member, they said, no, you can't be a technician member now. So I moved. The leadership, and I thank the leadership of James Gikandi, Isaac Wairegi, Ngochi, and the rest.
Now who are those?
Those are the leadership of the Institute of Clerks of Works, the chairman, secretary, treasurer, respectively. So they said, and if I don't know them, they don't come from where I come from, so I didn't bribe them.
Or was it because of your influence with Baba?
No, nothing to do with that. It wasn't political. Nothing sort of that.
Okay.
If anything else,
yes.
These were not, in terms of tribe and regional groupings,
yes.
we are from the opposite sides of the political grouping.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, they will not have supported me in any case. But because of my determination and zeal to support the association.
Okay.
So I was promoted from a technician member to a corporate member within a span of 3 years. So that is 2013.
Yes.
When elections came, when they were leaving office in 2014, they told me to vie for chairman.
Okay.
And nobody else showed interest. So I became chairman unopposed.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So then my activities with NCA continued, and I still train for the NCA to date. I'm one of the longest trainers of NCA for the last 12 years.
Okay.
I doubt if there's anybody else who has trained for NCA, and if there are, then they were the one, because I'm the one who started by being a volunteer.
Okay.
Then the others joined. Majority of them joined in 2016.
Okay.
When I had already trained with them from 2013. So that is NCA. So I'm still there to date. But there's a time
still volunteering?
No. Now we are paid.
Okay.
I can say we are paid in terms of facilitations for the training.
Yeah.
But in fact, there's a time I was nominated by Institute of Clerks. NCA board wrote to us to nominate board member, and I've been nominated for the NCA board twice. Though I was not lucky then.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So then, in the course of my professional work, when I was appointed, or rather elected as chairman, by virtue of our constitution, our chairman sits in the APSEA council as a council member, and the secretary is alternate.
Okay.
So by virtue of being the chairman of APSEA, of our ICWK, I became a council member at APSEA. I did my 2 terms.
So what is APSEA?
APSEA is the Association of Professional Societies in East Africa. It's a conglomerate or an umbrella of all professionals.
Okay.
Doctors, pharmacists in East Africa. Headquartered in Kenya at Professional Center, which is owned by APSEA.
Okay.
Professional Center is on Parliament Road next to Bunge Towers. That's where even MPs take their breakfast. At times they meet their guests there. Therefore, so I became a council member there for 4 years. When my time as chairman expired, also my tenure as a council member also expired.
Okay.
But that time there were elections at APSEA, and there's a seat that became vacant of assistant treasurer, and I vied.
Okay.
And again on this occasion, I went unopposed.
Okay.
So that's how I joined APSEA formally now as executive. Then I did them for 2 terms, that's 4 years. In when we reached 2023, my term expired and you can't renew. It is 2 terms maximum. So
in a specific position.
Yes. So then I said, now why not try a higher position?
Okay.
So I went for first vice chairman. Under my able chairman, Professor Nicholas Letting, who is currently CASNEB CEO.
Okay.
Yes. And my
so his time had also elapsed.
Yes, as his time as he was my treasurer.
Yes.
And I was the deputy. So our terms expired at the same time.
Yeah.
So he went for chairmanship.
Yeah.
And me, I went for
the treasurer. Okay.
So maybe just to take you back, in 2012, I joined Management University of Africa, where the same professor was my vice chancellor, where I did my bachelor's in business management.
Okay.
And graduated in 2014. 2016, I joined the same university for my bachelor's in business management. No, bachelor's of leadership and management, which I graduated last year.
Oh.
I've been studying pole pole.
So, Commissioner, how many degrees or how many diplomas?
I have several. And that's what I'm coming to.
Okay.
That's I want to encourage those who are in school and youngsters on how to be able to live in this world of hardship and getting job becoming a nightmare. So, having worked in NCA, having worked in now this conglomerate or combination or blend of speciality has enabled me move from one job to the other with ease, without bribing, without influence, without knowing anybody.
Okay.
I told you I came from the village not knowing anybody in Nairobi. The people, the networks I've created in Nairobi are my own networks. Nobody has introduced me to anybody.
Okay.
So, and then volunteering services. I've volunteered very many times, and it's through the volunteering, when I came in 2007, I decided to volunteer in the Ministry of Public Works. That's how now, when I got to prison in the area and I was transferred to do construction, the people who supervised the works of the prisons were the people I worked for as a volunteer. What? So they'll call me engineer, and these people will be wondering, how is this person an engineer?
Engineer, So just by the virtue of working with them.
Having been them.
Yeah.
So now, when this job for Ministry of Education came, the same job was being supervised by the same Minister of Public Works. So we engaged again with them.
Okay.
So now, by the time now, that is 2010 thereabouts, 2011. So by the time Teacher Service Commission, so I joined UN. I said I joined UN in 2016. I did up to January to December.
Yeah.
Then I joined county government. I joined UN as a consultant. Then joined county government as a sub-county youth training officer in Kakamega. Then eventually in 2017, TSC calls me.
Okay.
An officer from TSC calls me that there's an interview at TSC. I said, I've never applied for any job in TSC. What job is it? Said, no, even me, I don't know. I've been told to call you. I asked her, where are the direction to Teacher Service Commission? He gave me direction.
Okay.
So because I was not...
And you had no idea?
I had no idea. I was not formally dressed. In fact, I'm smarter now. So I said, I can't go back to the house to change. It's 11. I'm supposed to be in the interview at 1. So I called my wife in the house, tell her, bring me my documents, and I gave her the direction to TSC.
And you went to with the clothes you had?
Yes, informally dressed.
Yeah.
So I found people in the queue. I was the last one to do the interview. There were 13 people on the list, and I was the 14th one. Of course, eventually I realized that the same people I've been working with from 2010, the Public Works, and in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Education, Public Works,
and NCA.
And NCA.
Yeah.
Are the same people who are on the panel.
They were part of that.
So when they found so when they came to the panel and found 13 names, they said there's a name that is missing here. That's how I was. I don't know if it is corruption, but I don't because I don't know them.
Yeah.
They didn't influence me.
Okay.
They just called me unawares. So that's how. Now, how did TSC now decide on these 2 names?
Okay.
They wanted 2 positions. So TSC asked themselves, how do we pick these people who are going to do construction? What happens when there's no construction? Where will you take them?
Okay.
That's how my diploma in technical education came to play.
Oh, yeah.
They said, now we can employ these teachers. You are only 2. Out of the 14,
yes,
only 2 had done KTTC training as teachers. So let's employ them. By the time the construction will end, or when we are off-season construction, they can go back to class and teach. So as much as I was, my
As a
name was
fallback.
as much as my name was fronted by Public Works,
Mhm.
TSC has also had justification of picking my name
Mhm.
against those who had applied.
Okay. Had an interest.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
Yeah.
there was justification
Yeah.
on why to pick my name and
Yes.
leave somebody who had done a higher diploma
Okay.
or a degree in civil engineering or building construction because they could not teach.
Okay.
Where will TSC take them
Mhm.
after they finish their works?
Yeah.
So that's how I joined TSC, and I've worked TSC. One, I started as a clerk of works, then doubled up as a safety officer, OSH, Occupational Safety and Health Officer,
Yeah.
and I've done very many assignments, courtesy of the CEO, Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Masharia.
Okay.
Yes, she gave me various responsibilities. I was transferred. I was first of all posted in Bomet County, where I worked for 5 years. I came to the headquarters. I worked for 2 years, and then finally I went to Kilifi County, where this current job, got me.
Ah, okay.
I was in Kilifi County.
That is like how many months ago?
Up to the day I was nominated by the president,
Yeah.
on 12th November.
Okay.
Then upon my nomination, I resigned. So it's about 5 months ago,
Yeah.
5 to 6 months ago.
Roughly 6.
So basically, I'll say that that's what I was doing in TSC. In terms of the actual work, is a clerk of works supervising their projects. But there were other engagements that the CEO will appoint me to help in procurement, occupational safety and health,
Okay.
among others.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. You have quite a wealth of stories to share, and some of which, people will take it as a life, a life changer. And they'll choose among what maybe you have undergone to maybe better their life, or maybe to change the direction they intend to take in life. Now, before maybe we proceed to our last section of questionings now about Turkana and maybe your future life, I want to maybe ask, how did your name find itself, before the president? How did it end?
Oh, thank you. I thought you'll forget about that. So now, so I said, APSEA now, I'll come to APSEA.
Yes.
So APSEA, Association of Professors in East Africa, in the 2010 Constitution and various legislations that implemented or implement the 2010 Constitution, we feature.
Okay.
We feature to the extent that we sit in various selection panels. We select the National Police Service Commission, Gender Commission, Commission of Justice, the Auditor General, among other offices.
Okay.
We also sit in the in the Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
Okay.
We also now, by law, by the City and Urban Places Act, we also sit in all city and municipal counties boards. So by virtue of that, our position at SRC expired, and the president or the presidency wrote, the appointing authority wrote to us to fill the position. So the
as APSEA.
As APSEA. So the executive committee and the governing council nominated me alongside another candidate, a lady, because now the law says, the policy says that
gender,
because the
gender parity,
a name, a gender, two genders, opposite gender. So my name was forwarded to alongside one of my colleagues at APSEA, a professor, a geologist professor at Technical University of Kenya. And it took from May, when the names were forwarded, around June 2024, up to November 12th, 2024, when the president now, out of the two names, picked my name.
Okay.
So when I was nominated, I said I resigned immediately with immediate effect from Teacher Service Commission. And I went through the various stages in Parliament in the month of December. The Committee of Labour.
Okay.
We did vetting. Then the Parliament went on recess before approving. Came back on 16th of January through a special sitting.
Okay.
And on that sitting, not only me, but all the commissioners and our chairperson, Mr. Sami Chepkony, plus the other six of us, we were approved by the National Assembly.
Okay.
And then that's when we were sworn in by the Chief Justice on 20th January 2025.
Okay.
So from then, since then, I'm now currently a commissioner Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
Okay, what does this position mean to you as a Shiondo?
This position takes me back to my high school and takes me back to Brother Louis Calmel's clarion call. You should never give up.
Okay.
To our school motto, in harmony, small things grow. To our 4 Ds, determination, diligence, dedication, and
there's this other one,
discipline.
Discipline.
And now my personal and my father's clarion call.
Okay.
My father used to tell me before he died, there are very few people of integrity in this country. My son, strive to be one of them.
Okay.
And I've lived integrity. I've lived. I mean, if you start looking for corruption in my life, you'll dig very deep.
Okay.
I will not unearth anything.
Yeah, I never get what you want.
I always follow the and it's because of my activism. I've told you I've been an activist.
Yeah.
But not on national platform. But I've always done like things being done the right way. So through that, God has always opened my ways for me. I've told you I've never bribed for a job. I've never influenced for any job.
And you've never even had promotion.
And I said I've never been promoted in my life. I joined the prison service as a warder.
And even never craved for it.
I've never lobbied for promotion.
Yes.
I joined the county as a job group L. I left as job group L. I joined TSC. I left the same job group after 7 years.
Yeah.
I've never applied for promotion. I've never lobbied for promotion. God has always promoted me.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, I'll say that if Kenyans will aspire to live honest life, we'll go very far as a country. Secondly, now on the same path, I've talked about professionalism. Today, I met the leadership of Turkana Professional Association.
Yeah, I wanted to come there. Before you get there, yeah, I wanted to. That is my second question in part 3 of the questions. But now, let me ask you. You've reached the highest in the national level. Like for now, I will say, as a student of St. Kitts, you are among those who have risen yourself to the highest. But your heart is still here. What is your vision for Turkana in the next 10 years? What brings you back home here, and maybe what you want to achieve for the Turkana youth?
Yes, that will be answered by what the engagement one I had and will have tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow I invite, let me take this opportunity to invite all alumni.
Just talk to this camera.
All alumni of St. Kevin's from 1993 to date, or to last year. We have a session tomorrow at 2 at the school. We want to start a new front for the school. We invite you. It will be enriching, motivating, and we expect all and sundry within and around Lodwar for those who are around. I know that those who are on the way, traveling from Lokitang, that those who are coming from Kitale and Eldoret, they are on the way, they have confirmed. So, and eventually the evening, I believe we have also planned for a Mbuzi Choma event. So it will be a mouthing event tomorrow to come and listen. Having said that, today, to just as a precursor to that event tomorrow, I've met students of St. Kevin's, the ongoing students. I've met staff. I've met also the board of management of the school. Today, we also met the Turkana Professional Association officials. So, why I've come back is 1, to give back to the community.
Okay.
2, to show them that in harmony,
small things
grow. 3, to show them the power of the 3 Ds. The 4 Ds.
4 Ds.
Finally, to advise them never to give up. To the professionals I met today, and
the
to my
Turkana
alumni,
Professional Association.
yes, and to my alumni, and this engagement will go on tomorrow.
Yes.
I tell them that if you have studied anything, ensure you practice professionalism. And how do you practice professionalism? You must belong. You must be regulated. You must sign a code of ethics. or code of conduct, so that you know that anything you are doing as prescribed in the practice of that particular institution or profession practice. Therefore, it is through professionalism that I've risen. I've told you I've never been promoted, and I may not have been promoted.
Yeah.
Maybe because I don't know. I have never been so, but I used another route to be promoted, which is professionalism.
Yeah.
And it has bared fruit. It may not bear fruit to all of us, but why can't we try and strive to live our professional life? You are a media person now. Media subscribes to various codes, media practices. There are good media practices, ethical media practices. If you do them diligently, your industry, your personality will grow. So that's what I've come here, to show them that all is possible through integrity.
Okay.
All is possible through hard work. All is possible through determination, diligence, discipline, and determination. Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about the group you met today, the Turkana Professional Association. If you look at that team, actually they have, people with very huge experience. You're talking about the former Speaker of the Senate, who is also a member of that association. We have Governor Nanok, former governor and currently the Deputy Chief of Staff at the State House. We have so many people with master's, PhD in that group. But sometimes we look at it like, as much as we grow individually, but the Turkana County, as you see, people are really struggling to be at the national platforms like these ones. Like, I don't know what you shared with them today when you met them, but is there a possibility that we can have them rise even to the higher positions in government and even beyond?
Yes, there are two issues that came up. There was about inclusion, which they purported that they are not included in the leadership and aspiration of APSEA, for example. Then the other aspect was a misnomer or a misunderstanding between academic qualification and professional qualification. At TPA, Turkana Professional Association, anybody with a degree is regarded to as a professional. But from our understanding as APSEA, a profession is an institution or a skill-based career that is regulated. Therefore, not all degrees, or not a degree on, if you have a degree in law, I give an example. If you go to Nairobi University, do a bachelor's degree in law and get a first class honors, you can't go to court to represent a client. If you are a doctor, you get a first class honors in medicine. That doesn't qualify you to be a doctor. There are other processes that you have to undertake to become a professional. That was I took them through. And they were challenged to the extent that they now learned who a professional is. You could call yourself Turkana Professional Association, but ask yourself individually, are your members professionals? If you do the bachelor's of law, or education, KU, education, English, Kiswahili, and you stop at that, does not make you a teacher. You must go register with the Teacher Service Commission and get a TSC number that qualifies you to be a professional teacher.
Into a professional body now.
Yes. So basically that's what I took them through. Then two, I challenged them upon saying that they are not included in the leadership and recognition of APSEA. I told them last year APSEA held an inaugural, the first of its kind, professional gala, professional award. Professional awards, gala awards. And McHugh, one of our winners, the runners-up. The first professional to be awarded, the #1 position went to the LSK president, Faith Odhiambo. #2 went to Professor Lokuruka from Turkana County, Loima Sub-County. He's a professor at Karatina University. So I challenged them, if Professor Lokuruka, who is not known, who is a professor from Turkana,
could make to the first runner-up.
So then you can't say that APSEA doesn't recognize Turkana. And I didn't award Lokuruka because I studied in Turkana, but I didn't know him in the first place. I was not the awarding, although I was in the vetting committee or rather the jury, but I didn't award him because I know him. He awarded him because according to our criteria, he met the criteria.
Okay.
And he did very well
Okay.
as a professional. And I believe, for those who know Professor Rukuruka, will confirm to me that how he conducts himself ethically, professionally, he's above board. So therefore, I'll encourage them, let's start going back to our mother associations, our mother regulators,
Okay.
so that we are within the law as far as the Kenyan legislations are concerned.
Because it is even through APSEA that you made to becoming the to the commissioner of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are the one who recommended you.
Yes.
And then the president chose your name amongst many.
Yes.
Yeah, to becoming now the commissioner.
Yes.
Ah, okay, very interesting. Now, we are concluding this. We are concluding. What is that one thing Turkana youth must, unlearn? And one thing they must uphold or must hold on, and if they want to rise like you, something that a Turkana youth can unlearn and hold on if they want to rise like you.
One, what I've learned basically from the time I was here, 25 years ago, to date, even today, the Turkana people community should come of this, should stop discriminating themselves or feeling alienated from the whole of the world, of the other part of the country. The times of marginalization ended. If you compare what Turkana was 24 years ago, it's not what Turkana is now. Whatever was in Kitale, or whatever is in Kitale is what you find in Turkana. Therefore, how do you avoid that? You avoid that by being global, being national.
Okay.
I've realized that there is a notion of people owning Turkana. Turkanas owning Turkana. Turkanas don't know they are part of Kenya. They should be proud of being part of Kenya and be able to be on the table and not on the menu. Because if you're on the menu, you'll be eaten. If you're on the table, you'll be eating. So, and I'm talking about the Turkana youth.
Yes, yes.
They should aspire to get jobs. I knew most of my girls work in Turkana. They schooled in Turkana, married in Turkana. Working
most of your
classmates.
Okay.
Yes, but almost 90%. I'm asking them, there are jobs in Nairobi. Why can't you go? We like comfort zones. Secondly, the other challenge.
The likes of Karis.
Karis,
Yes.
Onyango, Karis, name them. Kagendo. They're all married in Turkana.
Yes.
Then the other thing is diversification of our career.
Okay.
People have decided to do one line. There are few jobs, and therefore it means for you to be able to get jobs, you must be multi-skilled. So I'll encourage that we try and strive to be multi-skilled, especially for the upcoming professionals. Just doing accounts by itself.
Yes.
You can do accounts combined with IT, then you become an expert, because accounting is converting from manual IT
to digital
IT. So let's be multidisciplined.
Okay.
Finally, professionalism and integrity. Then there's what you call networking. I've moved places because of my social network. Your social
life
network is your network. You are rich as your networks. If you work with the drunkards,
yes, you'll be
as drunkard as them.
Okay.
If you work with mathematicians, you'll be as mathematical as them. So it depends with your circle. And the Bible says, two people cannot work together unless they agree. And that's now, I'm bringing and summing up with our school motto: in harmony, small things grow. Harmony, by definition, is agreement. You must if you must work harmoniously. So if your harmony is to work with people who are non-starters, then you can never grow. So it's not about harmony. It's harmony in the direct direction. Set your goals, have foresight, be visionary, and all our youths. And again, I told the youth professionals, if you are regulated, you don't have to be employed. Employment is twofold. There is self-employment, and there is employment by agencies of government. And the self-employment could be entrepreneurship, consultancy, and even what you call Juakali.
Okay.
You can work here, work there, freelancing. It's also a job.
Yeah.
And I believe you, as a CEO of Ayok TV, Ayok Radio, I don't know if it's called Ayok Radio. The radio is called what?
Ayok FM.
Ayok FM.
Which is coming soon.
Which is coming soon. You are self-employed.
Yeah.
Yes. So that should be also an inspiration or an encouragement to the youth in Lodwar. And especially now that you're an alumni of St. Kevin's,
Yeah.
you should mentor and bring more people you should be able to bring them here to do attachment.
Okay.
And apprenticeship. Yes.
Exactly. That's what we are also looking up to.
Yes.
Very interesting. I had that one as my last question, that speaking to the St. Kevin students who are not there in the hall today, but you have already summed it up by your last sentiment. But even before we close this conversation, you've seen what has been happening in the political space. I don't want you to speak about it, but you can have an opinion over it. Turkana, for the first time, it is being talked in the corridors. That for the first time, the government, the current administration, has actually gotten a number of them, professionals, into the national space. We are speaking of this current controversial position of the IBC position, and plus many others. As one of the Turkana, I would say the Turkana person who have been brought here, lived here, your family has been here. What do you have to say? General opinion, what do you think? Is it time that the Turkana now has risen to take up the national position, or are we still have to do to do more to get there?
Yes, politically, of course, Turkanas have had representation in the government through the various leaders, MPs, senators currently. And we have very prominent leaders from Turkana, from from Munyes. We had former MP, former Speaker, it's called who? Ekwe Thuro. We had Governor Nanok, among others. Therefore, nationally, because of our constitutional framework, Turkana community has always been represented at the national table. But for those who may not know what Turkana is all about, from one end of Turkana in Turkana South, the boundary of Turkana South and West Pokot, to the farthest part of Turkana and Sudan, if you consider the number of leaders that come from Turkana and distribute them within the Turkana region, you'll find that it's a drop in the ocean. Therefore, that's an encouragement to the Turkana community that as much as they're within the national government framework, they need to work very hard so that more of their sons can go to the national table. And two is about the ratio of, if you prorata, the population of Turkana nationally is about the Turkana is about 10%, number 10 of the national population. But if you look at their composition in government institutions, it's less than 1%. Therefore, it is a mismatch. Therefore, it's another encouragement that there are many opportunities for them so that people can be able to fight for. Finally, I can't leave by not saying that for the first time again, we must give credit where it's due. His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, has done a lot for this community in terms of state appointments. I was telling my students, or the students of St. Kevin's, I'm not a Turkana, but I'm a product of Turkana, therefore I'm a Turkana by extension. And the President picked me from St. Kevin's and made me a state officer as a commissioner. The President has picked Erastus, now nominated him to become, and he become the first Turkana IBC commissioner. There are very many advisors and people who work in State House from this region. Therefore, this community has a lot to give to the president, because this region has been marginalized for many years. And some of these positions are unheard of in this region. And finally, because of this, what you call devolution, the new constitutional decision, if you come to Turkana, I'm telling this to those people who think Turkana is one, hostile.
The bush.
Turkana is a bush. Turkana is risky. They should come to Turkana and come invest in Turkana. And for that reason, I'm also aspiring to be an investor in Turkana. so that I can also tap into the benefits of the devolution within Turkana County.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, as I pledged, now let me use the opportunity to thank the Turkana community from, especially St. Kevin's alumni, who turned up in their large numbers to come to Butere on 26 April for my Thanksgiving service. You shocked my community back in the village. And for that, because of that generosity I got from the Turkana community and St. Kevin's family, I pledged to do a classroom by end of this year for St. Kevin's Secondary School. And today we advise that that classroom should be a classroom.
Yes.
The same way we used to survive in school without a dormitory, there's no dormitory to date.
Okay.
So we will convert that classroom to a dormitory. So I still want to repeat it publicly here, that is a course that will be actualized before 31st December 2025.
Okay, and then you come back to commission.
I'll come back to commission.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Very interesting. Have you had time to talk to the governor? Or you are planning to meet him?
We, according to the planning committee, I'm not in the planning committee.
Yes.
There's an itinerary that we're planning to meet the governor. Is it tomorrow or Monday? Between tomorrow and Monday.
Okay.
Yes.
You are going back on Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
We are supposed to meet the governor, county commissioner, county secretary, among other state officers within the county. Yes, or public officers within the county. Yes.
Okay.
That's not my plan, but it's a plan for the planning committee. For my visitation.
But you wish to meet them?
Why not? These are national leaders.
Okay.
We have a lot to share, a lot to exchange in terms of sharing ideas and how we can be able to partner, not individually and collectively as government officials. We have what we call one government approach.
Okay.
There's no government that is, we have one government, be it devolved or national government or these institutions. We work for one cause, and that one cause is the Kenyan public. Yes.
Very interesting. Now, during your time here, have you ever learned even one Turkana word?
Yes, I knew. In fact, I just forgotten, but I knew a lot of Turkana.
Okay.
I knew a lot of Turkana. Maata is one of the terms that I know. I know Bwalalo, Bwa.
Bwalalo.
I know Nakada. Kaada
is the local brew.
Nangaria. Asukul. Asukul. Kijiko. And so those names.
Yes.
So I know. I used to know a lot of Turkana, but now because it's 24 years since I left here, some is sleeping.
Na yote ni kama tu vile ya kuomba kitu, because ukiangalia kaada hiyo ni ile watu wanakula.
Yes.
Wala losi ni kukuja.
Kuja.
Bwa kuja. Come. Okay.
Yes.
Sawa. But it is good to know that you know a number of these things.
Yes.
Yeah. Very.
Turkana. This is my second county after Kakamega, my home county. My other home county is Turkana County.
Okay.
Yes. It has made me.
Okay. Yes. Who you are today.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as we finalize, now I want you to speak to the camera as your parting shot. Also, if you can speak to that 17-year-old, who is self-sitting under a tree somewhere, maybe under a class, which is not covered. You understand there was an issue of Kapo Primary School where Eric Omondi was here and he tried to set up a class, and controversy, overwhelmed, the national mainstream about, his entry to Turkana. I'm just talking about this young boy who is seated somewhere under a dusty classroom, and he may want to be like you in future. So I want you to talk to him right on the camera and instill some hope in that young man or that young lady who may want to become like, or maybe become like William Samoei Ruto, who is the president of this nation. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Yeah. What I have to say to any young Kenyan anywhere suffering or purporting to suffer is that the Bible tells us in the book of Jeremiah that God has a plan for you. And the plan God has for you is not a plan to destroy you, but not to harm you, but a plan to prosper you. Therefore, it doesn't matter what you are going through. God knew you before you were born. Therefore, he has a plan for you. What you're going through now could just be a journey. And that journey could just be a bed of roses. And for you to pluck a rose from a rose plant, there are likelihood that you'll be pricked by the thorns. So if you fear the thorns, then you'll never get the flower. If you want honey, you must be ready to be stung by bees. Therefore, I'll say, let those be pricks of the thorns. So, learning under a classroom that has no roof, walking long distances to fetch water, going for schools, having to cross seasonal rivers which at times get full, which I experience that some of us experience in Lodwar, are just scenarios or other experiences to help you grow, to help you be determined, and I'll take you back to the 4 Ds that I've talked about. So resilience is what will get you to the next side of the river. If you fear the flow or the floods, then you'll never cross the river. So let's always be resilient, and there's a better tomorrow for all of us. And the world has enough resources for all of us. God can never give you a war that you cannot win. Thank you.
Wow, asante sana, very interesting. Tumeshukuru sana kwa kuwa na sisi hapa ndani ya Yok TV. Nikimalizia anasema the Kevin shining all the way to SRC, keep up going. Commissioner Shindu, huyu ni Joseph Ekeno. Okay, Jojo Wino, great my brother. I have also some of the comments from our previous one. Anasema Mike Bosco Elim, sit IBC but not SRC Commission, don't mislead the public. I think I corrected that when I was asking the question. I was speaking about the IBC commissioners, not the SRC commissioner who is right here with us. Now, Peter Ayen anasema, you are an inspiration to many here. Happy to have school with you, brother. I am meeting you tomorrow. We are naitwa Peter Ayen. Alafu Emuria from Nairobi anasema anakufuatilia live from Nairobi. So you have your friends from Nairobi who are following this. Alafu anaitwa Brian Koriong anasema, okay, King Manu, keep it up, Manu, they call me Manu. Yes, yes. Sauti ya Waturkana. Asante sana, thanks for that. Ekeno Lodunga, one of our alumni and the current Chief Officer for Education, anasema, welcome back, oh my brother Commissioner Leonid. St. Kevin's made us the best species, and we are determined to lead in this country and county respectively. Amen. Yeah, asante sana. And of course the rest we had already read about them. Asante sana, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
Sana.
Asante
thanks
sana
for creating time.
Asante
and always feel free to talk to us even when you are in Nairobi.
I will.
Asante sana. To our listeners, it has been a very great opportunity for us to be with you since the start of this program up to now, the end. We always appreciate your company and always your support, because you've been with us since we started this online channel from the year 2022 up to now. It's barely 3 years since we started, and we still appreciate for whatever support you give us. And remember, we're also hoping to grow as a channel, having a great team behind us, people well wishers, people who may wish that we grow to a bigger mainstream television in future. I know with your support, your fellowship, everything will be fine as we move forward. Otherwise, we really appreciate for your company this time and at this hour. Keep going. Our channel will always give you candid and trustful news and discussions. I've been your host, Emmanuel Ekwom, and thanks for keeping locked at Ayok TV. Asante sana. Mungu akubariki. And to my team, kazi mzuri sana behind the camera, my great team there, technical team, Mr. Savai Allen, who is the engineer behind everything that you're saying before your screen. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Good night. Asante sana, Commissioner.